Everett, good to see you. Tell me what's happening as we prepare for a probable rise in interest rates, and small businesses have been dealing with so much uncertainty, not only with COVID, but just what the economic environment's going to be.
Yeah, so thanks for the opportunity to be here. I think when we take a look at small businesses, we take a look at inflation, COVID, and obviously possible interest over East and in terms of Ukraine, we got to first kind of think about where the businesses are coming from. So low access to capital, personal networks are generally don't have a lot of net worth, low home ownership, and then less inherited wealth typically brings those businesses into somewhat of a financially precarious position as they're getting started. Lenders has been trying to be part of that solution and providing access to capital, but I think there's somewhat of a long way to go. I actually think there's a way where some of your viewers and some large corporations can start to help out.
What is that?
Yeah, so great question. You know, we've been looking at this as kind of the Great Resignation, but really there's another side to this coin, and I'd call it the Great Business Formation. If we look at the numbers in 2020, 4.4 million businesses were started. That's coincidentally 25% higher than 2019. We broke a record in 2020. Then in 2021, 5.4 million businesses were started, breaking the record from 2020. So roughly we got 10 million new businesses that were started. I just saw something recently that said 20% of 2020 businesses were created by Black women. And so if you add Black men and other minorities into that, what you're seeing is that there's really a disproportionate number of these businesses started by minorities.
Right.
As we think about generational wealth, and we think about kind of opportunities for some of these large corporations, you know, in the past, as you mentioned earlier, kind of the DEI strategy or the supplier diversity strategy was kind of like this nice thing to have or great tactic. I actually think it needs to be a strategic positioning that needs to be at the forefront of their mind.
But here's the problem, Everett, or at least one of them. Right. You know, it's one thing to start a business. So many fail right within the first couple of years, and that access to capital issue is a big part of the reason. Even if it's a great idea, right, businesses, especially young businesses, need to be able to survive shocks, right? And we're probably about to head into an environment of more of those shocks. So I guess it's why Lendistry's work is important, but what more can be done even in the near term to keep some of these businesses afloat that are about to go through a rough time?
Yeah, so I think the large enterprises could look at their HR strategies, which are going to be really focused on mental health and work from home and other things, and start to do an integrated approach with the procurement side of the house, who should be getting an influx of different vendors, right? Because more businesses are being started. If they leverage that, then they can create a unique strategy where they're saying, okay, we're losing some things on kind of the HR side and the employee side. Let's shift it over to the small business side. To answer your question, revenue is part of the cure-all, right? And where Lendistry fits into that is we can provide mobilization capital, other organizations like Lendistry. So now you've got your access to capital solution mixed with the ability to generate revenue. The large businesses win because they don't really have this HR Great Resignation problem. Again, they're turning more towards a procurement strategy that can help them create a solution. I think the small businesses win long-term because what we're seeing now is these small businesses are a little bit different than some in the past. They've got the skill set, they've got the wherewithal. They've just made a decision for whatever reasons, personal, et cetera, that they're now going to create their business. They're going to do this a little bit differently.
Okay. Well, a bit of a specific playbook. Everett Sands, CEO of Lendistry. Thank you.
Thank you.